We're going to try to stay as quiet as we can in the room, right, just so we can hear the students when we're talking with them. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Can you hear?
Can you hear?
Okay. Okay, so, oh hi, great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited to have you here today. We appreciate you taking time out of class. We know that's where you'd rather be. So thanks for being here with us. I'm just gonna ask you to start by, if you don't mind, introducing yourself and then tell us about your favorite project that you've had so far. So let's start with our elementary students from Lamar Elementary. Is that okay? Are you all ready to go? Can you tell us just your name and then each one of you and then your favorite project that you've had so far?
Rebecca. Go ahead.
My name is Rebecca Strine, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Carter Hayes, and I'm in 3rd grade.
My favorite project for PBL was it was in 3rd grade last year, and we did the characteristics of a president. And my group, we chose George Washington, and we did it in the pause way that we do here at school. And it was
Shannon.
Just a second, I'm sorry. 1 second.
Shannon.
Yes. Let's start to say hi again.
Okay, I'm so sorry to ask you to do this again, but we couldn't hear you, sweetie. Can both of you, do you mind talking again?
Okay.
From Lamar, Minister?
All right.
Don't mind talking again?
Hey, Shannon. It's Janet. Can you?
Oh,
I don't know if we lost them.
okay, I'm gonna go Katie, Raymond, and let on the bed.
This is Katie Rains. That one's on mute. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. One. Hi, Juan.
Oh, hi.
Juan, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna ask you to go next. About your favorite project so far, Juan.
Can you hear it?
So is it the next one over? Kevin?
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to Rain for right now. I didn't even hear it, and then we're going to come back to everybody else working on. So one of the two of you at Rain, do you mind starting telling us your name and telling us your favorite project so far?
We aren't able to.
Brian, can you hear you? Kevin?
Get your body.
It's like she's breaking. It was like, yeah, really.
Are you able to hear us?
Yes. Who is that? Is that you, Dana?
This is Navasota, but we can't. Your feed is really breaking up for us.
Okay. So, can you, Kevin, can you hear me better if I'm over here? Yeah, just type it in the chat for him.
Where's the chat? Where's the chat? Where's the chat?
Yeah.
We did a
So,
relates to our own. Your feed is really breaking up for us.
Have Kevin go first.
Kevin?
Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, Kevin, you want to start? Please tell us your name and your favorite project so far.
My name is Jennifer Mohill, and my favorite project is a project we're doing in math.
Juan, do you want to go?
Juan, introduce yourself as your favorite. Oh,
Juan.
What's your favorite project, Juan, so far?
My favorite project so far is about catastrophic events.
Can you say that one more time? What was it about?
It was about catastrophic events.
Catastrophic event. Rains? What's your name and your favorite project so far? What's your favorite project, Juan, so far?
One, and my favorite project is about
Can you say that one more time? What was it about?
catastrophic events.
Thanks, Juan. Rains?
Hi, my name's Ethan. I'm in 12th grade, and I just have to say that my favorite project was the one that was paired with NASA, where, oh, there you go. It was the one where we worked with NASA, and, can they hear us?
Yes.
Sorry, and we had to come up with a space station that was able to live in space and conserve energy and just able to maintain life and have people live in space, and I thought that was really fun.
Cool, thank you.
My name's Maddie Williams. My favorite project at Rains was in geometry, and we had to build a miniature golf course using like measurements that we had to go over, and it was kind of complicated, but we got through it.
Great, thank you. Let's go back to Denison Lamar.
Hey, it's Janet. Can you hear us?
We can.
All right. Well, I'll start with Rebecca. Rebecca?
I'm Rebecca Strine, and I'm in 4th grade. My favorite project was when we had to show the characteristics of a president in our way now and how we act as a citizen. And
And then we also have Carter.
I'm Carter Hayes, and my favorite PBL project so far is characteristics of the past few people that helped us with our lives. And that's it.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing, Carter.
Welcome.
Carter and Rebecca. Carter and Rebecca, what do you like about learning this way?
Because you get to learn. You get to learn. You get to learn more. You get to learn more things than you know now, and it also helps you. Some of the projects help you with your future life and your own personal life, and how you should act to your citizens around you.
What ask Carter.
And another thing is about it is that it's fun. You learn. It's not very loud as you might think, and not chaos all the time. And, but yeah, it's pretty fun, and it's a fun way of learning. You can help your teammates and your team, and you can help other teams in your class, and yeah, that's probably it.
Thanks, Carter. Let's move on to Juan Navasota. Juan, what's your favorite part about this learning this way?
I like it that the teacher picks the groups. If the teacher didn't, and if the teachers didn't pick our groups, they would just let us pick our own groups, and that would result in there would be less work, and they would not learn nothing. And when they have progress checks, they fail because the teachers did not pick groups. That's all.
Heaven, same question. What do you like about learning this way?
What I like about learning this way is that it helps me become a stronger person, because we have to work with people that we really don't talk to much, like outside of school, and it helps me become a better person by actually getting to know people. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Heaven. Maddie at Rains, what do you like about learning this way?
I like it because the option to work sometimes with people that you like and people that you don't really necessarily know, and so basically you're setting yourself up to pass or not, and you have to make that choice for yourself if you want to get the good grade with who you work with. And you can also, if you're in a group with someone that's not doing their work, you can also fire them out of your group and get them out of your way, so you're not worried about what they're doing and what they're not doing.
Great, thanks. That's great. Last but not least, Evan, right, at Rains?
Sorry, no, it's Ethan.
Ethan, thank you.
What I love about PBL is that it's more of a hands-on learning, and that it's like it allows you to put a little bit of yourself into the work that you do, and you actually have the responsibility to especially if you're a project manager, you can actually lead things and use strengths and weaknesses from different members of the group. And even if you're not a manager of the project, you can still have a say in things and still just try to help out with how the project's running. And it really just, I don't know, it's just really nice to be able to put yourself into it rather than in a traditional campus. It's more just kind of by the book and right or wrong. And I think that's a good summary.
That's awesome. Do you want me to go back to the bottom? Okay. Ethan, let's start with you and go in backwards order. Did you always like this process?
Uh,
Or are there things that you don't like about it?
to be honest, now that I'm thinking of it, I can't really think of anything. I can't speak for everyone, but when I was in a regular campus, I didn't really put any effort into work, and I can't blame that on the school. But I do know that once I came to Rains and when I was in a PBL learning, it gave me more of a challenge, and it allowed me to really have a passion for work and really want to work and get things done and actually enjoy what I'm doing. So yeah, I've always enjoyed it.
Awesome. And Maddie, same question. Have you always liked this process? Is there anything that you don't like?
I mean, there's not really anything that I can't say that I don't like. But like being at a regular high school, you just get too distracted because it's too big of classrooms. But here, like, I actually want to get my work done because I understand it a lot more, and it's like a privilege for me to be here. So I appreciate that, and like all the teachers trying to help me get through everything and trying to see me graduate. It feels really good.
Take over for a bit. Okay. Thank you so much, Maddie. Heaven, same question. Have you always liked this process? Are there any things that you don't like about it?
When we first started it, I didn't like it. I didn't like how some students wouldn't carry their weight in a project, but now getting like with the ELM, getting more understanding about it, it's pretty good.
Juan? Juan, have you always liked this process, or is there anything that you don't like?
To be honest, I do like this. That using PBL, the teachers like always help me and make sure that I'm always passing my grades, and that PBL has gave me a really great challenge because I get to do more work and do better in this learning environment. That's all.
So, Juan, I'm going to start with you. What do you do when your team has a conflict? Or if they're off task, if someone's not working, what do you guys do to fix the problem?
First, we put them like a conflict, we give them a warning, like if they get like 3 times, they are automatically out of the group, and but we always try to fix the problem so everyone can work together. That's all.
Great. Thank you. Have you ever been fired?
No.
Okay, just checking. Heaven, same question. What do you do when someone's off task or not pulling the weight of the team? How do you guys solve that problem?
We try to fix it, but if that doesn't help, we give them a warning. Second time, we'll probably like just be man-on-man conversation, and then third time, it's like you're out of the group. You're just gone.
Great. Awesome. Maddie at Rains?
So if there's a conflict, like same as the other schools, they get like 3 warnings and then they're fired, and or you can give them another chance depending on if they like say that they're going to promise to do their work. Then if they don't pull their weight after that, then they'll end up getting fired and having to do like another assignment or start completely over.
Great, thank you. Ethan, what do you guys do if someone's off task or not interested in the project, not pulling their weight? How do you solve that conflict?
I usually try to talk to them in person and have a more down-to-earth setting and just see what's wrong, why they're not doing their work, and at first I try to help them out a little just to show that we're all in it together, we're all trying to help each other out. And I don't want it to be like a, you do your work or you're fired kind of setting, so then and usually they'll put effort into it at that point, but even if they don't, and if they just have the attitude that they're not going to work at all, then I'll get permission from the teacher to fire them, and of course I don't want to, but it's just I have to, and then they'll get fired.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, so we want to ask you a couple questions about what your teachers do. We have a lot of teachers here, and they're all trying to learn how to do this in their classrooms. So there's about 120 teachers that are learning from you right now. So that's pretty exciting. And so they want to know some things about, like, first of all, let's just hear, what advice would you give to a teacher that's trying to learn how to do this? What would be the best advice you could give? And then I'm going to ask you some specific questions that they want to know. So I'm not sure, do we have Denison back on? Lamar? No, not yet. Okay. So Ethan, let's start with you again, if that's okay. What advice would you give to a new teacher trying this out?
Well, I know that from the 3 years I've been in PBL, that every single teacher I've ever had was always more than willing to just sit with me and help me and answer any questions I have. And it wasn't so scripted and by the book. They were just always there to just talk to me and try to understand why I'm not learning it and try to work their way, with me and teach me the best way that they could. And I think a more down-to-earth setting would be the best way to do it. I think the kids really appreciate that, and they really have stronger relationships with the teachers here than I've seen in other high schools.
That's great. Thank you. Maddie, what would you add to that?
Definitely the relationships that you build with your teachers. Like at my other school, I didn't know anything about my teachers besides their last name and what college they went to probably. But like here, we actually like get to know them on a more personal level so that we have a better connection, and they also learn ways how we work and how we benefit off of things better, so they can sit down and take it step by step for a different way if you need different methods than how they want to teach.
That's great. So you feel like you get more personal attention because they're able to work with you almost individually?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Heaven, what would you add? What advice would you give to a new teacher doing this?
The advice that I would give to a new teacher is don't get stressed out. Don't let these kids stress you out. Make sure your students don't pick a group with their friends, because guarantee, I know from experience that it will not work out.
That's good. So don't get stressed out and don't let them work with their friends, because they won't be friends anymore, or you're not going to get your work done. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good advice. All right, Juan, what would you add? What things would you share with a teacher trying this?
The teacher should always work with the students, and like if they're starting a new project, they should always do like a pre-test, and when the tests are graded, you put the students in groups depending on their grades.
No, wow. That's awesome. Juan, would you like to come to work for Engage? No, I'm just teasing. So Juan brought up something that we have several questions about, and that is, so we love the fact that you're enjoying what you're doing, that you are you're like getting to apply this to your life, and our students from Lamar Elementary even understood this is going to be really important to your future. But you have this thing called a STAR test, or an EOC, that you have to take now, and that's a kind of one of those things that you have to address and teachers have to address, and there's a lot of pressure about that. Tell us, how are you able to, do you feel like you're able to, and how are you able to prepare for those things through this type of learning? What are the things that you do and your teacher does, etc., to help you get ready for those during this type of learning? And we'll start back with Ethan, if that's okay.
Well, personally, I'm still a tax tester, but when it came to the time that I had to take my tax tests, all of my teachers that for the subject that the tax test was on, they had a good feel and a good idea for what was going to be on the tax test, and they would have a whole week, probably more than that, dedicated to just teaching you and having you memorize everything that might be on the test. And I knew that once I took the test, everything that you know, when I start reading the questions, I'm like, oh wow, this is what my teacher was talking about. You know, this is what I learned there, and they really helped me out with that. And I feel like the work itself was just made it easier to memorize, uh, embedded in my mind what was on the test.
That's great. And I know that y'all have done really well in your scores there. Do you know about that? How y'all have done on the tax and EOC at Rains, right? You've
Yeah, I've
kind
heard
of
about it.
yeah, you've outperformed other campuses, I'm hearing too. So that's great. Maddie, do you want to add anything to that? About what are the things that you do within the model? You're talking about kind of review before the test, but are there things that you do within the model you feel like helps you learn the stuff for the test?
I take the STAR test, but the teachers, like, they definitely have a lot of creativity. They come up with, like, little games and quizzes and stuff that make it more fun and make it more easier for you to memorize and get it to stick instead of just looking at a worksheet.
Okay, great. Heaven or Juan, do you have anything to add to that? No, we're like, no. Well, I'm going to ask you some more specific questions, like, and we can start with Juan. What do your teachers do for workshops? They want to know, how do your teachers conduct a workshop? How do you know to go, and how do you know who goes to the workshop, and then what do the teachers do there?
Like on Engage to Learn, they put workshops on the e-board, and it shows a specific time that you're supposed to go to a workshop and what's it gonna be about, and it's really it helps the students because they don't have to, like, if they forget it, they can always check on the e-board to check what time, what day, and what it's gonna be about.
Great. Heaven, what else about workshops? Anything else you want to tell us? What happens during a workshop? What does the teacher do during a workshop, and what do you do after?
Basically, during the workshop, she basically tells us what's going on, like what that standard is about. And after she finished the workshop, we go back to our team. Like, the workshop manager go to the workshop, and we go back to our team, teach our team what the workshop is about, what it was about. And if we get it, we move on to the next standard. If we don't, we ask for the teacher to conduct another workshop.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask a different question to Rains. So, are there things that you feel like your teacher does either during a workshop or other ways? Well, I'm sorry, let me ask it this way. What other ways are you learning in the model besides workshops? What are the other things that you're doing besides workshops that help you learn when you're in the project? And let's go, Maddie, you want to go first?
Other things that they do instead of workshops, they can, if they find like a good video or like game or something, they'll show us and make us like figure it out. But I think the workshops help a lot too, like just besides anything else.
What are other things that you do, and how do you know what to do every day?
Well, when they assign us a project, they leave it up to us to come up with like who's going to be the project manager and who's going to be like the time manager. And so we think that whoever has like the most responsibility will be like the project manager and make sure everyone's in line and on check, and then that's who goes to the meeting for the project manager whenever the teacher calls it.
Okay. Ethan, you want to add anything to, like, what happens every day? What does it look like every day in your classroom?
Well,
What
I know
are people doing?
all your teachers will request for you during homeroom for your advisory. And so even if you're late on a project or they feel like you need to do work, then they'll request for you, and you'll always know when and where to go in order to do that. But in class setting, I know that it's very. I feel like each teacher has a game plan, and they know just what they need to do in order for you to learn and to pass. And like Maddie was saying with the projects, and when they assign the manager, time manager, and a communications manager from the very get-go, from the beginning, you're starting to plan out things and make a game plan. And schedule things. And I think that's the strong point of the PBL learning, is that we always have a plan.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Okay, so Rebecca and Carter, you're back with us. Hello again. I wanted to ask you a question that we asked everyone else earlier. Do you have any advice for teachers? What are some things you would tell teachers to do if they're trying to do this model? What are some things you would tell them?
It's this, well, if you walk into a room and all of us, it may seem loud and we're interacting with each other and telling each other what we think. It would be the same thing of walking into an office and talking to each other and planning to each other also, and that's a way to help the teacher understand that it's the same way through adults and children.
Oh, that's good. So it's not just going to be quiet. They're going to see a lot of things happening. Yeah. Okay. Carter, do you want to add anything? What advice would you give to teachers?
Well, if it's like a new teacher, they would probably think that the class is trying to be loud, although it really aren't. They're just talking to each other, and they're helping each other out with their unit, and like walking into an office like she said, and it's loud and they're all out of their seats doing all that. It's kind of like PBL. But yeah.
Okay.
That's probably it.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we have two more questions, and then we're going to let y'all go. But one is, how do you get grades in this way of learning? How do you get grades? Do you know how you get grades? And let's start with, we'll start with Juan. You want to start on this one? Is Juan? Yeah. How do you get grades in this model?
You get grades you mostly get them by doing workshops, doing DIYs, and paying attention to the teacher, and watch videos to help you on things you don't really understand, and that help you each time.
Okay, great.
And that's all.
Okay. Have anyone add to that? Is she frozen? Okay. How about Ethan? How do y'all get graded, and how do you know if you're learning, I guess, is part of that?
I can't remember exactly what percentage of the grades are. I think it's daily work is like 50%, and we're graded on all the daily work we do. It's always turned in. We also take quizzes throughout the projects, and we take a post-test and pre-test. Most of the time, the pre-test isn't graded, and the post-test is always graded, of course, and that's where the basis of our grades come from.
Okay. How do you know if you're learning along the way? Just from their daily activities, or?
From the quizzes also, because there are quizzes throughout the project, and like I was saying earlier, we have a plan. We always have things planned out. So if you're meeting the goal and you're knowing what you need to know in order to make the project, then you'll always know that you're along with the research too, because we always have to do research in order to make a project almost all the time.
That's great. Rebecca and Carter, how do you know if you're learning? How do you know what you're learning and what you're supposed to do every day in this model? How do you know what to do every day?
Because, you could research it, use a dictionary, you could use a rubric to be graded on. You could use a dictionary, and your teacher could critique you,
Mm-hmm.
and warm and cold feedback, and that's it.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Rebecca, do you want to add to that?
Well, my teachers from third and fourth, they always have on their computers, they always have a plan and a to-do list on the board, and we always follow those directions, and by the time we finish, sometimes we can go on or we can just stay there or read our books. And for the and we also have the to-do list on. Sometimes we also have a to-do list on our papers, and it also tells us what to do.
Mm-hmm. It's great. Okay, so last question is, we'd love to talk to you all day, but I know you'll have to get back to class. So the last question is, what do you feel like you're learning in this model that's going to help you with your future life? And let's start, Rebecca, you want to start, and then we'll have Carter, and then go up. You don't know? That's okay.
Carter can go ahead.
Okay, what was the question again?
What kinds of things do you think you're learning that will help you in your future life, like once you get out of school?
Well, in second grade last year, we learned about Rosa Parks, and that she was one of the most important people in our lives, and different types of presidents.
How's that going to help? Carter, how's that going to help you when you grow up?
Because she reminded me of helping others and listening really good.
Great.
And following directions.
That's great. Thank you, Carter. Rebecca, you want to say something now? Okay.
Our last PBL unit, we did our math, and that helped us figure out math multiplication, and it helped us figure it out because we're going to move on to division. And I wanted to be a math person in other businesses that I could find when I grow up, and
How does that help you?
it helps me because I wanted to be a math person, and I know as I go through the years, I learn more things about math and other units that we're going to do in science and other things.
Thank you so much. Juan, what is it that you're learning that you feel like will help you with your future life, or when you grow up? As Janet said, probably better to say.
It will help me because like I can get scholarships because I'm in athletics, and athletics I can get scholarships, and PBL's helping me because it's helping my grades, and those grades let me stay in athletics, and I want to be a zoologist. PBL helps me by getting me grades, and that gives me by getting me scholarships.
Great. Good luck to you with that. Heaven, what are you learning, or what are you getting from this that you think will help you in the future?
I think what I'm learning is that how to be a better person. We're working with other students that I really haven't worked with in the like in school at all,
Mm-hmm.
but also with my grades and stuff.
You think it helps your campus, you're mentioning this, and we hear this from some students, that it helps to not have so many cliques, and it helps people not to bully and stuff because you get to know different people than you normally would?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
great. Good luck to you too, Heaven. And Maddie, do you want to share with us, what do you think it's helping you with?
Not only like grades helping you learn what you have to, but I think it really helps like your social skills and how things are going to be out in like college and business, like when you're out of college and stuff. And it just gives you a little taste of like what to expect and how things are really going to run.
That's great. Ethan?
Well, of course, the obvious answer that you know, it helps you to work with others and people that you just met. And honestly, I feel like if you got a job in a career and you acted just like you did in PBL, then any boss would think that you were just born Employee of the Month. I mean, a person, you know, not doing the minimum, just doing above and beyond, just trying to make everything work and get all your strengths and weaknesses together, you would just excel through any career. And I mean, the teachers too. The teachers, they care so much about you graduating and being successful after school, and you can really, it's really reflected on their attitude, and I think I appreciate that a lot.
That's great. Well, I think you have a very bright future, and I think you're right. Any employer that has you is going to think you're definitely born Employee of the Month. And that is really true for every single one of you. You have just really made our day by spending time with us, and your answers have been very, very helpful to the teachers. I'm going to tell you, we really, really, really wish you the best. We'd love to hear everything that happens with you in your future life. I'm going to let this whole crowd applaud, and I hope that you can hear them applaud for you. So, okay. I didn't want to show y'all that earlier, so you didn't have to know how many people were listening to you. Thank you so much, and please tell your principals and your teachers how much we appreciate everything that they're doing. We appreciate your leadership, and we look for great things from you in the future. Thank you. Bye.